Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting podcast. Sean Higgs coming at you here. It's Thursday the 17th. It's a Thursday. Doug Upstone, Chirimbes joining me for some Major League Baseball action.
Yeah.
Thank goodness when you get some derelict games, not even close in the NBA playoffs. We'll bash them in a second. We'll get to that. But before we get to our NBA recap for those four playing games, let's take care of the business here. One, hit the like button. You're here on the YouTube channel. Hit the like. Number two, go into the comments section. Let us know. Well, not right now because we haven't told you the games yet, but after the fact, and I'll mention it 3 more times during the show, leave a comment who you like in these games before the games are played. Please. Had a guy last night come in after was like, oh, man, the Heat were a lock. I'm like, fella, you can't do this an hour after the game ends when they win by. That doesn't count. You cannot do that. No. Before the game. Before the game, please. Now, notification bells on. Subscribe to the channel so you know when the free pick videos drop for NBA, Major League Baseball. Maybe there'll be hockey. We'll probably talk about some hockey. I don't know if there'll be old videos, but it will be discussed on the surface, probably, and not just how the puck is tiny, you can't see it, and it's not built for being on television per Chip Chirimbes. But you never know. We have hockey guys who win in hockey. One of them on the show right now, so you'll be hearing about some hockey too as well. But our premium best bets, whether it's hockey, NBA, Major League Baseball, whatever sport is underway, gamblersworld.net is where you want to go for all of our top plays, folks. We have the NBA pass for the postseason, $279. Go get it. It'll cover everything from tomorrow's play-in winners and losers all the way through the final championship game, whatever it is, 4, 5, 6, or 7. All games, $279. There you go. Baseball. A lot more games of baseball to go. $649 through the World Series. And us three, Fargo, Biller, the whole crew, we're a lot of baseball guys. You know that. You're going to definitely, value-wise, $649 for the next 5 months. You're going to get that in spades, hand over fist, value handed back to you with a Major League Baseball season-long package. You don't want to go that route. I get it. Daily passes, $69.99. Always good when there's playoff games and baseball. You're going to get multiple packages and multiple picks. That still doesn't get you. Okay, the last thing I could offer you is the freebies, which is the 3, 7, 30-day packages where if we don't show you a profit, we credit you back. So we don't make money unless you make money. And with well over 100-something years experience between just us three here, and I'm the low guy with 25 years, we're going to win you money over 3, 7, 30 days or a season in the sport. Make the smart money move. Get on board today. No better time. NHL starting playoffs. NBA's really about to start with their playoffs. And Major League Baseball. You can't beat it for a 30-day pass, folks. So go get that at gamblersworld.net. 3.5 minutes. There we go. Chip Chirimbes, Mr. Hockey himself. You know, I made the little hockey comment. We're talking off air about the hockey. But I know you probably didn't have anything last night on the ice. NBA probably, though. You're pretty good with your NBA. And recap, what did you think you got the games? I mean, we're talking about this with Doug as well, but how did you do last night? What do you got going on going forward? Do you have anything loaded up for the big playoff weekend?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Miami earlier about somebody saying they had a lock in that game because that was my only release yesterday. And I'm starting to see the NBA come back to form with these games because Dallas I passed on because Irving wasn't there. And I was really wondering how they would react. And they came out like true champions, in other words, true professionals, and they gave it their all, and they come up with the big win. But Miami was my side yesterday. Baseball starting to roll along. We're just in the middle of April, and it's a great time of the year because of the playoffs and baseball just getting off the mark is, it's my favorite sport. So what can you do? I mean, I could watch baseball. I have trouble watching basketball, and I'm not paying any attention to the hockey unless they play only the replays. Then I'll watch hockey.
You know exactly what's going to happen on the replay there. Now,
yeah, but I might be able to find out where the puck is.
We know Doug has no problem with hockey seeing the puck because he's seen the puck well. He's melting the ice. I call it cold cash, but the guy's 60-some% on the air. That's melting the ice. We got to bring out the Zamboni.
Yeah, it's a fantastic season, and all the various monitors I was at, including here at Gamblers World finished either number 1 or 2 in win percentage, for the season. So very pleased about that and looking forward to the playoffs. The strategy does change, though, in looking at how you look at the regular season versus the playoffs. So you have to consider that in terms of, how to view the game, because you're playing the same teams, of course, over and over again, okay, in each particular series. So that's been good. Overall, yesterday was a rare poor day for me. I went 0-2 yesterday, but still the last 47 days, 160. Okay, so we'll take that, okay, all day long, and we'll just try and get back in the swing of things. And I got a baseball game this afternoon in 100% spot play. So really in a nice situation. Check that one out here at gamblersworld.com. And yes, I have no problem seeing the puck, and I have yet to ever put glasses on my face. So I'm good to go.
I actually had a rare ice play last night, Montreal, and I know it was like a public kind of team. I was like, oh, everybody's on. Well, I know just because you have to win doesn't mean you're gonna win. But Carolina pretty much locked in their spot, right? They're more worried about the playoffs. If I thought Montreal would come in and give it to all they needed was a point to win. They got there. But again, like you said, Doug, it's playoff time. It totally kind of changes how everything's laid out, and you got to kind of readjust the numbers and your thinking. And that's not just for NHL. I think that goes into the NBA as well, Chip, right? I mean, you're talking about the Dallas game, the Heat game. Go ahead.
I think it's interesting that the original 4 American hockey teams, none of them made the playoffs this year. And the teams from Canada haven't even been winning the Stanley Cup at all. So there's a real dichotomy and change of what's the norm in the NHL this season anyway, for the playoffs, that is.
Yeah, I think it's the first time that the Bruins, Rangers, and Penguins didn't make the playoffs like in 25 years or something like that. I saw it in kind of passing, and I just thought, wow, it's interesting,
I'm up on it more than you might believe.
He's a closet hockey watcher. He just watches the replays.
Right.
So we saw, well, not for tomorrow, real fast, just briefly touch on tomorrow's games for the NBA. We have the Heat and the Hawks, Mavs and the Grizzlies. Anything stick out to you, Chip, in either one of these games of what you saw on Tuesday and
Mavs and Grizzlies,
nights?
Heat and the Hawks. I think that just my first glance at it with the number, I think that the public is going to gravitate toward Atlanta. I think that there's a real negative feeling about this Miami team. Since they got rid of Butler, they haven't played all that well. I think they've been under 500 over that period. And so my instinct would be that that's the game that I would be focusing on. I'm afraid of this Dallas game because, that team went to the finals last year. They got rid of Luka, and Irving's unavailable. He's hurt. And Klay Thompson all of a sudden is showing signs of being the former potential Hall of Fame player that he was.
Good, Doug.
Just offhand. I mean, I haven't made their final decision. I don't even know if I'll actually have a play. But just offhand, I kind of like the points with both of the 10 seeds. Okay, I mean,
right.
just offhand, I think there's enough there. I think Davis, AD is kind of taken over the leadership role now with his team and put them on their shoulders a little bit. And they got enough veterans there. And Memphis has the talent. They got 3 really good players, but just the lack of cohesiveness from that team. And Atlanta. Don't play much defense. Trae Young, that little episode that he had the other night was, not somebody you think somebody that's 27 years old that's been in the league that long would act like that. But, so I don't know. That's just my initial thought. But I definitely have a play lined up for Saturday that'll be posted this afternoon in the NBA for the playoffs. I got one game I really like. Ready to go there for sure. I
see your baseball bites and your NBA Shoot the Rock updated. Yep. It is Thursday, so they'll be up on gamblersworld.net. And let's be honest, any other month that's not April and Trae Young is not even playing in this game on a Friday night.
Right.
How do you let they're going to let him play because it's the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
really.
It's not even the playoffs. Let's be clear. It's a lot like the Sean's favorite tournament, the NBA tournament in November. It's
the championship, the end season.
It doesn't. I mean, it's actually not considered the playoffs. The playoffs are considered to start on Saturday. So this is like postseason basketball. So we have a delineation of the two terms in this particular instance. So it's pretty bizarre, but that's the NBA, and we'll see what happens.
I do like the dogs here in this. Miami is just you got a better coach, and there's that. And the Memphis, like you said, you got a couple good players on the team, really good players, but they just play down the teams. I don't want them laying 6. Now last night they were getting 6 or 7. That's where I want them. I don't want them laying versus a team like the Mavs, which is we're angry. We got something to prove because everybody thinks we're
high.
Right, it does seem high. I'm like the Mavs. I don't know. I'm becoming down the Mavs, I think.
Yeah, that's I can. One thing you mentioned, baseball bites. I got little. I'm not going into a Chips territory here, but I just found this incredibly interesting. Okay, the other night, Tuesday, the Tampa Bay hosted Boston on tax day, and they lost 7-4. So what's interesting about that? That is the 14th straight time that the Tampa Bay Rays have lost on tax day. Okay, it means nothing. Okay, but other than the fact that you know what, it's happened, and if I was Tampa Bay, I would request that the next tax day we have an off day. Okay, on the schedule.
And you know the crazy thing is people look at that and they'll bet those things like, oh, you know, on Tuesdays this team is 27-4.
Well, you know, I will just not disagree. Here's the thing though, when you have like say certain ones on a Tuesday or a Friday games. That's the or even a Sunday game. That's the beginning of a series. Okay, in many cases. So I'm not as opposed to if I look at something where some team is 14-2 on a Tuesday, and you know they got a good situation, but they're 14-2 during the course of a season on Tuesday. That tells me they're winning the more often than not. They're winning the first game of a series. So that's so I kind of go along with that. Or on a Sunday, if a team has either a good or bad record on a Sunday. To end a series, they're either doing a good or a bad job. So I mean, that's I mean, that's,
I get the Tuesday ones. I agree, but I'm just saying for random people.
Right. Yeah. April the 15th having an outcome makes no sense.
They're all the entire franchise is upset about tax day. You're in Florida. You're playing. You know what? They're probably upset because they're used to not paying any taxes, and then the federal government comes in and takes out 50% of their money. But what happened here?
What's going on?
Florida, so I don't have to pay these taxes. Oh my goodness! Please comment on your tax status. Who loves paying taxes? You could always pay more, by the way, if you want to.
And also leave your Social Security number. Make sure that you do that too.
That's good to do.
Good advice.
You could email us a picture of your ID too, as well. It'll be fine. Oh my God! Well, here we go. We're gonna be getting deplatformed pretty soon. Now we'll be good. Running some kind of crazy scam. Let's talking about crazy scam teams. Let's go to Chip's New York Yankees. This joke of a franchise. How the hell? I had Kansas City yesterday. Why in God's green earth are they throwing to Aaron Judge in a tie ball game in the 8th inning when you got Jazz behind him hitting a $156? But let's just throw to the guy who's hitting 400, who hits 50 homers every year. Why? It's a one-man team. And here that's my rant because I lost Kansas City yesterday. So the Yanks and the Tampa Bay Rays say Tampa Bay's home technically, although this is the Yankees' home minor league park, so there should be a home game for them. Tampa Bay's always a underdog to the Yankees. It's never a home game for them because there's more people from New York who live in Tampa than people from original Floridians. This is basically a pick on both sides of the ball, 105, 107, both ways, 110s, whatever. Taj Bradley and Warren going at it. Bradley's a youngster here, Chip, year 3, improving every year. He was a top prospect for them. Looks pretty sharp. Good numbers versus the Yanks in his 2 starts versus them last year. I would be inclined to take Tampa Bay here, but this is your game, your squad. Let's go. Ben Rice. I got crazy Mr. Numbers, my guy, who loves watching the shows, tell me that Ben Rice is the next Don Mattingly. I said you're crazy.
I hope he can play defense.
I mean,
They need
nice start. 5 homers, 6 RBIs, we're leading off, but I don't know.
It's 162 games. Judge started out like crazy, and now he's not even an American League leader in home runs. And we'll turn that over to Mickey. I'm hitting 218 Trout. But this Yankee Tampa Bay matchup always has me crazy because I hate David Cash because he changed the whole premise of baseball by starting pitchers 2 innings and yanking them and doing that kind of silly stuff continuously. And I know the numbers say that the pitchers aren't as strong in 6th, 7th, and 8th innings, but they don't even get to the 6th inning anymore. Kevin Cash, I hate that guy. Now, here we go with the Yankees, and what is their biggest weakness is their pitching staff, and we had said it. They lost the Cy Young Award winner. They lost Gil. I don't know why he isn't pronounced Gil, G-I-L. And they did pick up Fried, which is great, but they're giving up 5 runs a game, the Yankees, second to the bottom in the AL, giving up runs per game. There's Will Warren. All right, he's 1-0. His ERA is over 5. Taj Bradley he's done really well against the Yankees. He's only given up, he's 1-1, but his ERA is under 1 for them. And, they're still without Mike. Don't call me Gio Stanton, Giancarlo, and he's not with the Yankees. Bellinger has really picked up the slack a little bit. That Soto left. But, this Yankee team, I see them being in a little bit of trouble. I think that total at 89 or 90 for them for the season is not going to get there. And, I just don't like this team overall, and they always seem to struggle when they go to Tampa. But they're playing at George Steinbrenner Field here, so
Yep.
I don't know. At a pick'em situation on the road, I might go with the Yankees, but I'm not going to. I'd take Tampa.
Tampa Bay official pick here. Let's call it a 1. We got 107. I'm gonna call it a 110 here, just for the purpose of video record. That 7 is gonna screw up my little numbers here.
You have trouble with math, I understand.
You know what? I should keep it at 107 because we are 4-5 minus 142. So you know what? We're already in the crooked numbers category. Minus 107 Tampa Bay. Tampa's minus 107 here.
Well, why would you pay an extra $1 for bread or for milk? I mean, you got to get the best price. That's part of surviving in this industry.
That's 3 cents. Here's the thing, though. So, you round it down, people go crazy. You're like, oh, you're putting out fake numbers.
Don't
you round it up.
It is what it is, Sean. You don't have to round it at all. I mean, if it's 107, it's 107.
I'd like to keep them square numbers. It's nice and easy. 0s and 5s. Nice, easy.
Yeah,
0s
but now
and
you're
5s.
making me lay an extra 3 cents.
It's all right. It's all right. It's
Or
going to win.
your
So
money back.
nothing.
I need that 3 cents.
Hold on. Now we'll go into a conversation of who cares what number you're laying. A win's a win. You pay no juice on the win. We'll go to. We got a lot of guys who cares if you're laying 330. If you think they should be a $4 favorite, it's a winner.
But the trouble is we don't go undefeated.
Well, some people do in Instagram world, but not us. We are real people. That's why we are 4-5.
Yeah, well, you know what? We have the greatest system out there now. We have a monitoring system which just perpetuates itself each and every day. So if you try to come up with some stories, they're not going to be valid. All you have to do is go to the site and see what the record is.
There you go. Doug, what are your thoughts on the Yanks and the Rays? You're going to kick the Yanks right or down too, or what?
Actually, I'm going to go a little different direction here. Now I just would like to everybody know that. So since this trio has been put together, especially during the baseball season, it's always interesting for me as an observer of the Yankees as opposed to being a fan. So, for example, these two, early in the year and still kind of continue to, these guys can hit. I don't like that. It's a one-man offense. It's all this, it's all that. But does anybody know who leads Major League Baseball in runs scored this year at this exact moment? You know what? It's the New York Yankees. They're at 5.94 runs per game. How about that? So we got that. So Taj Bradley's pitching tonight, and I really like Taj Bradley a lot. To me, he's a lot like Brian Wu of Seattle. He's a guy that just has trouble staying healthy, but when he is healthy, he is absolutely lights out. So in this one, Bradley, when he is at home against teams that strike out 7 or more times a game, he's 9-1 under. The Yankees now, Will Warren since he came up last year, he is 8-0 over, as it turns out. But this season, when the Yankees have faced a team that scores an American League team, that scores 4.4 runs or less per game, they're 5-0 under. So that's where I'm going. Tampa Bay Yankees under.
It's worth it. The Yankees, third most strikeouts in the American League, 169 of them. But they're also up there in walks. They're the third best draw in the walk. But Bradley's not a big walk guy.
What's the number on this game? Because they're playing in that minor league park, and I'm thinking that like in Sacramento where the A's are playing, it seems to be a lot more runs being scored with the ballpark. So it's such a tough call, is what I'm trying to say.
Ballparks for sure. I mean, well, but it's in a lot of cases, it's not a whole lot different than Yankee Stadium, to be perfectly honest, especially because the stadium is set up along the same premise as Yankee Stadium, the Steinbrenner Field is. So it just for they have the swirling winds there all the time. The games that I've watched, they keep talking about it and showing the flags, every couple of innings coming from different directions.
Right.
So it's just, but yeah, I just like this pitching situation with Bradley. So I'm going to go under. And it's not my game anyways, Chip. It's all on you.
Doug likes the under the 9 here with Bradley on the hill, with a little edgier over the Yankee hitters here. We'll stick with Doug here before we get to that. Again, this is Chip's free pick. Tampa Bay minus 107. His best bets are at gamblersworld.net. Comment, like I said earlier in the show, who you like in this Tampa Bay Yankee game. What the Yankee fans are going to come out. They were in the World Series last year. Next game up. Two teams I think could go to the playoffs this year. Kansas City and Detroit. My little over teams. I had them last year to go over the win totals. I got them again this year to go over the win totals. Detroit, a 135 favorite here at home. Total, looking at a 7.5 here against the Royals. Olsen and Lorenzen. Lorenzen, a little journeyman type guy here. Kansas City off getting swept. Detroit off the road trip. They didn't end that too well for themselves. Doug Upstone, thoughts on the Motor City Kitties?
We got four games, to go along with that. Now, Tigers won on Monday 9-1, so that was good news. But then the rest of the series, they scored 1 run. So that wasn't too good. And last Sunday, when they played at Minnesota, they also scored 1 run. So their offense is not very good. And the Royals, well, they scored 6 times in the cement jungle known as New York, and so that's not very good either. So they got swept. But the Royals' problems on offense go deeper because only Colorado is scoring fewer runs this season than the Royals, who are at 3 runs per game. The sad part is they're wasting good pitching. Kansas City now in runs allowed, they're 4th. Now Lorenzen, who by the way was a relief pitcher and a sometimes outfielder for the Cincinnati Reds back in his younger days, he to me is the quintessential 5th starter on any team because literally when he pitches, anything can happen. He can throw 5 shutout innings or he can give up 5 runs in 2 innings. So it's kind of like whatever. Reese Olson. I kind of like Reese Olson, but I kind of like him more at home than I like him anyplace else. And when he is facing an American League team that scores 4.4 runs or less at home, he and his teammates are 7-3. Lorenzen, on the teams that he has played for as a road underdog, he and his teammates, whatever team that happened to be, 12-23 as a road underdog overall. So let's go with Detroit in the Motor City to get the job done.
The Tigers, official show pick from Doug Upstone, laying a 135. I thought you'd be going towards the under with the way you're talking about the offense is going.
Yeah,
maybe we were getting a 7.5.
That's it for me, Sean.
Yeah.
The under's for me. I see it that way. Kansas City hasn't scored more than 4 runs in any of their last 10 games. And like you said, Doug, they're only averaging 3 runs a game, 4-0. 2, 3, 1, 1, 4, 1, 2, 3. That's all the runs they've scored in the last 10 games. And they've gone, Kansas City has been a little surprising right now. They've lost their last 3, 5 of the last 6. This is a team everyone expected to contend. You said you liked Reed Olson at home. There's good reason for it there, Doug. They're 5-1 this season. The Tigers are as hosts. But in the last 10 games, 8 of them for the Royals have gone under the total. And in the last 10 games for Detroit, they've only gone over 2 with 1 push and 7 losses. I have to play this under. Just the numbers just come at you right here. Lorenzen, 3.71 ERA. Maybe he's starting to get it. And like I said, Olsen pitching at home. I think the game's supposed to stay under because of the way Kansas City is just not scoring runs at all. They're not getting people on base. They're not moving them around. And maybe it's just the idea that it's been so cold early in the season. And we'll see when things heat up when it comes May and June. But right now, I'd have to play the under between these two.
I'm with you. I might actually come in on this under here. The more I look at it, a lot of times for me, guys, like if it's two teams I like to bet on, I just kind of don't even really look at the game because I don't want to. Because I'm like Chip says, you do a long-term win total on a team and you kind of get biased into like you got to take them all the time. So I'm like that. I see two teams I like. I'll avoid it. There's other things on the board today, but the more you look at this number here, I mean, this game has what 3-1 written all over it. 3-0. Somebody wins.
Oh.
It's right. I mean, official show pick Doug Upstone, Detroit Tigers -135. Be sure to get all of Doug's premium plays and check out his Shoot the Rock and Baseball Bites at gamblersworld.net. Again, these are our free picks, folks. We are 4-5 in Major League Baseball in the young season, down $1.42. So we're not going to crush you with crazy spreads. We'll 500 record. You're going to make money here. Now, final game for the show here: Angels and the Rangers. Kumar Rocker. A lot of hype on this young guy coming out of Andy. He is a 155 favorite today. Are you kidding me here with this number with this kid? Total of 9.5. Now, listen, Angels are off to a nice little start here, right? We talk about the Angels. They're putting pieces together like they're getting ready to win their third straight World Series and their fifth in 9 years, the way they're bringing the veteran guys here. But they've won. Nice little start to the season. Nobody expected it. I can't even pronounce the other guy, the pitcher for them. I'm just going to say he is what he is here. I'm going to be focusing on the over here, 9.5. It is a big number. And the Angels, they hit homers. I think they're third in homers. But ribby-wise, they're towards the bottom with runs scored because they got some power, but guys aren't getting on base. I don't think they're walking a ton. But Kumar Walker, what he does, he just throws to the plate, right? We talked about him, I think, the other day here, where nice minor league numbers, a lot of strikeouts, this and that, has not transpired at the major league level. He's going 3 innings, 3 1/3, 4 innings, striking out 2 guys. He's given up more than 2 hits, a hit plus an inning overall on the season. That's going to get you in trouble when you're putting on 13 guys in 8 innings and you're around the plate. This isn't the minor leagues where guys will miss those. They're going to hit those around the plate. But no matter if you're a number 8 hitter on the Rockies, you're going to throw strikes. Major league hitters are going to probably put them into play. And if they're grooved enough, they might go over the fence. 8 innings, 11 hits, 4 walks on the year. Again, 15 guys. That's way too many guys to put on base in my eyes. I don't know. You put on 18 guys in 11 innings, you're not going to be very successful. I think the Angels score some runs here. 9.5. Will I be shocked this game's 5-5? The Rangers not hit. They have a nice little lineup too. About a bunch of young studs. You got young stud there: Langford, Wyatt, Heim, Garcia. And then you got Stroman and Simeon and Seager there as well. I'm expecting runs aplenty here. 9.5 is good enough for me. Over the total for official show pick here. Doug, what do you think about this one?
I'm in complete agreement with you here, and just so you go, it's I'm not easy on this either, especially with lots of variation here. But Jack Konakowicz, okay, I'm going to go with that, and you can go old school on it, Sean. So just say the Polish kid. Okay, you could do that.
Can you say that? Can you say he's Polish?
Yeah, that's a Polish name.
You can say it now.
But and he, his ERA 5.74, and he struggles because he can't strike anybody out. He averages less than 4 strikeouts per 9 innings, so that's a big problem. Kumar Rocker, when I saw him at Vanderbilt the first time when he was there with a team that went to the College World Series, I thought he was one of the most impressive pitchers I've ever seen in college baseball. Okay. He was just lights out. He was terrific in 2 starts that he had in that College World Series. And I thought he was just going to be a star. And then I saw him a couple times the following year, and not quite the same guy. And, he's had arm problem, he's had the surgery already. And he just not the same guy to me. And he nibbles too much now. So, but in terms of the total, to me, it seems real easy. Look at the first 2 games in this series. There was 8 total runs scored in this series, the first 2 games. Now we got a total of 9.5. Okay. Just seems to make a lot of sense. So yeah, I'm with you, Sean.
I did say I got my numbers wrong on him. He's put on 22 guys in 11 innings, Kumar Rocker. So
okay.
A little more. I was just looking at the hits over that time. I forgot to add in his walks. So he's done putting guys on base there. Chip, what do you think?
Well, you know what? Texas beaten this team 7 straight times now. And, these pitchers, like you just said, I think the game's supposed to go over. They do not get anybody out, and they don't strike anybody out. And if the ball's in play, there should be runs scored. And the kind of anomaly about here is that Texas has got the best record in the American League at 11-7, tied with the New York Yankees. And like you said, this Rocker, he struck out 6 people in 12 innings, and they're giving up more hits than innings pitched. I think the game's supposed to go over the total.
Yeah. Maybe too good to be true. But as Doug pointed out, 8 runs in the first couple games, and you get a 9.5. There was actually a 10 last night. I was like, oh, boy, let's get this 9.5.
9.5's a big number.
It's a big number. 2 teams. Listen,
Yeah.
I like the Angels. I've taken them a couple times as a dog because they got some pop. They're not scoring runs. They're not there walking. They're on bases and anything special. 9.5 runs is a big lift for 2 teams that are hitting. What are these 2 team batting averages right now? The Angels are hitting 234, and the Rangers are hitting 218. And we need 10 runs. Those are the kind of games we've talked about. Like the line kind of says stuff to you like, oh, what are they trying to say with that line? This line to me says over by the 5th inning. How about that? Let's recap the free plays here today. Rangers over 9.5. Detroit minus 135. Tampa Bay minus 107. These are our free picks today. All of our best bets are at gamblersworld.net. Go get them for the premium top play action. And here we go. Major League Baseball. $6.49 the entire season. No matter who you get. One of us, somebody else, $6.49 is going to repay you hand over fist because 5 months of baseball, you're not going to get 49 games from somebody. Even the most selective guy, you're going to get double that. It is worth the price of admission for the $6.49 baseball pass. Now, speaking of baseball, it's April 17th. Chip, before we run out, anything today? I'm sure there's got to be some baseball.
There's a couple of interesting things. The first Sunday game in baseball history was actually played in 1892. On this date, the Reds beat the Cubs. Sorry about that, Doug. 5-1 in that one. And now this is an oddity, and when I saw this, I had to double check. In 1933, April 17th. What was that?
Were they Cincinnati Reds or were they the Red Stockings? What were they called?
They were the Red Stockings. Yeah. And in 19, where was it? I lost my place, my friend. Oh, and I know what it was. In 1933, on this date, the NFL played its first football game. Now, could you imagine the game is being played in April? It's not being played in the fall. The Chicago Bears beat the Giants 23-21 in the first official NFL game as a league, 1933. And this date in 1947, Jackie Robinson got his first hit in the majors. And this date in 1951, Mickey Mantle got his first hit in his debut. And in 1953, 2 years later, 24-year-old Mickey Mantle hit a 565-foot home run in Griffith Stadium in Washington, D.C. That is still considered probably the longest one that was ever hit without the use of steroids. I guess Mark McGwire might have hit some that could have been equal to that, but I always remember growing up with that number, 565, Mickey Mantle. And on this date in 1960, the headlines were 40 homers equals 200 singles, as Rocky Colavito was traded from Detroit to Cleveland and Harvey Keene was traded back. So that was it. The current batting leader and the current home run leader from the previous seasons were swapped for each other. First time ever. And in 1963, this is for all of us, Pete Rozelle suspended Paul Hornung for gambling on NFL games. And what passes by most people is that Alex Karras was also suspended at the same time. And believe it or not, both these guys went into the handicapping business after their football career was over. Alex Karras had a tip sheet, which is printed out, and Paul Hornung used to give tips. So as far as gambling is concerned, they're not getting away from it. And that's the way it is in NFL football and in sports. On April 17th, throughout the career. By the way, I got one for you, Doug. On this date, and you probably remember this because I do, 1976, the Cubs lost to the Phillies 18-17.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that day?
I do.
Because who was it hit 4 home runs on that day? Mike Schmidt.
Yep.
And the balls were flying out. I remember watching that game.
It was an amazing game. Yeah. In fact, I think the Phillies went ahead either 10-0 or 10-1, as I recall.
It was just a wild game. I remember that. Oh, and by the way, the Cleveland Browns, they have the 2nd pick in the NFL draft. And if there's any way to screw up Shakur's future in the NFL is for the Cleveland Browns to draft them, because on this date in 1999, they did draft #1 pick from Kentucky, quarterback Tim Couch. And we know how that ended up. So April 17th's got some unique things about it.
I think April 17th, 1985, Alex Karras in his Webster TV show maybe had a guesting appearance or something. Maybe it was, he was on Webster, right? He did Webster back in the 80s?
Yeah. No, it was amazing to me that the people that were involved in gambling became broadcasters, Joe Namath, and you have Alex Karras, who was printing a newsletter with his name on it. And these guys so I think the gambling has always been surrounded by the NFL. They, of course, kept it under wraps. And now they're partners with the bookies. So you go figure.
I got a book. I got to find it. Talking about it in the 70s, just that. We'll bring that up next week. Okay. Speaking of 80s TV shows with NFL players, Fred Dreyer, Hunter, Rams linebacker, Fred Dreyer.
He was pretty good.
In Hunter or in the field?
No,
both.
Oh, there you go.
He had a better career than Chuck Connors, coming from first baseman for the Dodgers to having the Rifleman, and he had a lot of great roles in movies after that as well.
One last guy we talk about in the NFL, then we'll get out of here. Dan Pastorini. He's got barbecue rub down here in Texas. Dan Pastorini, sports editor.
How old would he be now?
I don't know. Again, I have his seasoning in the cabinet. I will bring that onto the show. I'll show you a picture of him, although it's probably an old picture of him.
Yeah, it's not a new one. And he used to have had a long.
I like him.
He had a tip sheet and an 800 number for years.
Yeah.
Dan Pastorini.
Yeah, they don't know the numbers while they're playing the game. They don't know.
All right. One last time. Tampa Bay, Detroit, over Texas, 3 free picks. GamblersWorld.net for all of our best bets and top plays. Don't want to miss out. Winners on tap for tonight. Go get them. Doug, Chip, gentlemen, have a good day. Everybody watching, comment your favorite gambler NFL player. It could be Ohtani. He bets on him and Pete Rose.
Randy White.
Betting boards. No, Randy White, stop it.
Randy White had a tip sheet. Come on. He had it for years.
Randy White was on, we did a sports handicapping show. Randy White, myself, Wayne Root for years. And he had by the way, his ranch in Texas called Fourth Quarter. So
I got a signed mini helmet behind me.
Out of Maryland, the MVP.
Yep.
I love it. Number 54, defensive guy. I love it.
Hey, he was strong.
All right, everybody. We're out of here. We could go on forever.
Yeah, not as strong as Mongo, though.
Hey, Father Time takes over.
Take it easy, everybody.